We got things to say.
Welcome to Miscast Commentary. I'm Todd Tebow, the Sailor Murray, and this is
Joe Tebow, the Sailor Murray.
Fuck yeah! We're here with a miscast mini-sode they're not so mini.
No. We swear to ourselves that it's gonna
You like that? You like how we just stole the intro from you?
I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, I'm now sponsored by Pop-Tarts.
I'm
Fucking A.
I got the weight of the world on me getting those intros out, so I mean it's nice. It's nice. It feels good. How we doing?
Good.
Sir?
I'm great. We haven't done this in like 8 months.
No, it's been a while. We've had two big gaps lately. I was the worst thing too. I was actually off last week, but my schedule was absolutely packed with shit. So I was just out.
Your shit packed in, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I got my shit packed in.
Shit packed in.
Yeah. So
Your shit packed in. What movie is that with Buddy? He makes he's terrifying.
Yeah.
You ever just shit pushed in? He's like, oh god, he looks like he's squeezing his shit out. That was previously pushed in the scene right there.
Yeah. He waited till it got nice and hot. He waited till it dried out, got nice and hard, and then put it back in so he didn't have to do any mushing.
No motion.
Well, that's a great way to start the episode.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I saw? It's funny. We're talking about prison sex, and I just watched. I was forced, but I was actually happy at the end. Was Bad Boys?
Okay.
Starring Sean Penn.
Oh, that Bad Boys.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good, actually.
Nice.
You know, a young Sean Penn looks like Jeremy Allen White. Is that his name?
Yeah.
From The Bear?
Yes.
He's at that gay Toronto show where he plays a big gay bear.
Yes.
That one. Weird. It's weird that it's on Disney.
Yeah.
Comes on after Drag Race.
Interesting little tidbit about that. The guy who co-created the show, Matty Matheson, a friend of a friend.
No way.
Yeah, he's
The bear one?
He's from Fort Erie. The guy.
No shit.
Yeah, you can go check out Rizzo's House of Parm in Fort Erie.
Chicken parm?
Yeah, man. It's just
good?
Oh, dude. They give you get like a plate, like it's a big ass plate, and the whole plate is like a chicken parm or a veal parm or an eggplant parm, and it's just
I saw this
like they just put so much cheese on it and then just set the whole thing on fire.
Oh my
and
god!
Send it
Like
to you.
before your very eyes.
So tasty.
I've actually one night on Instagram, because the more you look at things at Instagram, which is super telling and awful, it comes. You know when you just click like the hour or the magnifying glass one.
Yes.
It's not in your feed. It's like these may be things you're interested in. I tried to make it one night all pizza. I'm not even kidding. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and it was like I went over and I was like, wow. I was like 7 out of 10 of these are like pizza, and I was like, what do I need to do to lock this in? And this is where I found this one play. I don't know what restaurant it was, but it had the same. It was like this big fucking piece of chicken parm, and they come with like a whole tray, but the tray is just sauce and cheese. And then they like slide it onto the, and I was like, oh fuck, man! This is like food boner city here, man.
Have you seen the pizza thing where they put all of the pizza like this? So they got sauce, cheese, pepperoni, and all that. They put that in the oven on like a big cookie sheet, and then they put it on another cookie sheet full of fries.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is I'm like, holy fuck! These people aren't fucking around.
I know. I'm so glad that people weren't like taking these big swings when we were young, because we would be dead by now.
I'm surprised we're not already, but you know, it's
I know.
fine.
But I love
Keeps on ticking.
Like I feel like if you had like a YouTube video about your journey trying to make all of those pizza, I feel like that. I legitimately feel like that would get like a million views.
I totally tried. I got so close, but I've looked at so many like half naked women on there that it was like hard to swing the pendulum all the way. You know what I mean? There was like one chick in a bikini. I'm like, fuck.
The algorithm ruined it.
Like fuck, like pizza. She could be wearing pizza. You know what would have capped it off if the one girl was like naked in pizza? That would have been like boom. Like I've done it.
That is amazing.
But I failed miserably.
I
just ate pizza and was disappointed.
Oh man. Like legitimately, I'm just like, God, why did we not have just cameras rolling on you on the screen?
It's like 3 in the morning. I'm lying in bed. I'm just like, I'm not going to bed now. Fuck this.
It's not what you thought. And you're sitting there like tears in your eyes. Like,
fucking pizza tears, bud.
There's still
you get caught in the loop, you know, like you're done.
That's amazing. Oh,
it's like I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I was like, I didn't even have this when I was a kid. Why do I even give a fuck? Like,
full disclosure, I was going to bed 2 nights ago, and I'm working later right now, so I'm staying up later. And I walked I walked away from the couch, and I was watching a TikTok, and I just stopped to finish watching that TikTok so it wouldn't be louder going down the hall. And I'm sitting there, and I just started flicking through.
45 minutes later, you're still standing there.
Legitimately, actually, I checked the time. It was 20 minutes later. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like,
I wanted to go to bed, and I'm like, I'm watching a dog sleep. I'm like, I could be doing that. That could be
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Like, what the shit? Like,
I just, it's a lot.
that's the only way you can introduce anything to anybody now.
Yeah.
So everybody knows the song. Like, oh, that's a TikTok meme.
Yeah.
I was wearing my.
That's 100% true. You're right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way. Or like I saw Stranger Things. Like, now I love Kate Bush.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, which is cool.
Yeah.
However, you're gonna find it, but that's lame.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lame way to find things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Don't-
then you pretend it's the greatest thing you've ever heard.
It's moreover, I don't like the people who act like they discovered her. They're like, "Oh, you've been sleeping on Kate Bush." I'm like, "No, she's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, dummy." Like,
yeah,
you're not like somebody who was.
I did sleep on Kate Bush, so I did not know
Yeah.
that song at all.
Yeah.
Or Kate Bush.
Yeah, but it's one of those like I knew the song, but I didn't like know her. You know, it was one of those.
think they'll
just
have
kinda
another
like,
one?
"Oh, I heard that song."
In the next
Oh, I'm sure.
season, because then Master of Puppets was like,
Yeah.
all these people like, this song's, what's this?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my God, man.
yeah. Well, they did invent
This is
Metallica
the
in that
greatest,
movie.
the biggest rock and roll metal band of the history of the world,
Yeah.
like.
Well, I mean, there are no the wonders from that thing you do.
Doing that thing.
They slapped.
We saw that movie in theaters. I think, what a
Yeah.
waste
Oh,
of
we
my
did.
life.
No, that was one of those ones we went because all the girls were going. Like, we're gonna.
Did
come
George
with us.
Clooney direct that movie?
No, Tom Hanks did.
Oh yeah, no, okay. George Clooney directs, like, I don't know where George Clooney's from or why somebody doesn't say like, hey, no one gives a fuck about a movie about dudes rowing.
I don't.
Like,
agree.
you're right, exactly.
No,
George Clooney just came out with a movie, The Boys
no.
on the Boat.
Oh no, I know that. I'm saying I don't agree with you. I think that only rowing movies.
Oh,
what
right.
they want
And then
people
it was like the same script as Leathernecks, only
Mm-hmm.
they turned it into boats. And it was like, George, no one cares.
Well, and this is what's interesting too, because like we're in a really weird place right now, because obviously the things that are getting people going to the theaters have mainly been franchises, and even like though like things haven't been doing well, generally speaking, they've still been the only things making money, people bringing in something like that. And just
Right.
kind of like nobody gives a shit. It just gets relegated to wherever. And it's like basically they're just trying to keep like the Golden Globes and Oscars rolling. They're like, these are movies for that. And it's like, we're just putting them in and getting that going. But yeah, it's like we want these original movies. Obviously, we want more variety of things to see in the theater. But then they do stuff like that, and it's so destined to fail that every studio's butthole clenches up, and they're like, we can't do anything original now because that didn't do well. I'm like, just find good original shit.
Last summer there
Mm-hmm.
was like people were done. None of the sequels made any money.
No,
Well, Guardians did in the beginning, but then
Yeah.
like Mission Impossible didn't make money, Transformers didn't make money. Well,
No,
they
I'm-
made money, but
but
not
yeah.
what they want to make.
yeah.
Like,
But I'm also not even saying like I'm saying they were still the things that if you were going to the theater, those were still the movies.
Right.
Like Marvel's didn't make money, but it was #1 for like a couple weeks anyways. Like it just didn't have nothing else had a very high bar.
I tell you, I went and saw The Boy and the Heron.
Oh, how was that? I was
At,
interested in that.
I have no idea what really I actually feel about the movie because
Oh.
of the experience I had. Like ruined. Like,
no.
okay, so I went to it was in the AMC in Dundas,
Okay.
Young and Dundas, Toronto.
Okay.
And I'm like, I go and I'm gonna buy the ticket. They're like, it's $27. I'm like, $27? I'm like, what the hell? Like, they were like, you get like a super wicked seat. It's like VIP experience. Like you get a super wicked seat, and then you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it. I'm like, okay, well, this is the time I'm gonna go to see this movie. This is it. I'm not waiting or anything. This is it. Okay, here we go. All that money gets you.
Yeah.
The seat is like any regular seat at Landmark Cinema right here.
Yeah.
Right? Like the ones they bumped up to. For when you're sitting before the movie starts,
Yeah.
there is like 8 people who are crawling over themselves to go get your popcorn. The very popcorn that you walked past to pay $27 for somebody else to then go get it and bring it to you.
Yeah.
And then also, also there was like food.
Yeah.
But I was like, You're at the goddamn movies. There's like a food court right there. Why would you just eat? You know what I mean? People are eating full-on meals like during the movie.
Yeah, I hate that.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but they're like literally say $27 to give you the opportunity to, before the movie, not during, get another person to go get your stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the movie shit the bed. It starts with a woo, like a train whistle.
Yeah.
And the lights don't go down. And the movie's like 5 minutes in, and somebody is like, we're all like, what the hell? And then somebody leaves and goes and comes back. Like, well, we're going to get this settled. The movie restarts. Lights don't go down again. Happens 3 times. Then eventually somebody comes in from the theater and is like, we're going to get this taken care of. Don't worry about it. We're going to restart the movie, turn the lights off. And now by this time, I'm just like,
I'm over it now. Yeah.
I'm like, for fuck's sakes, like, what the shit?
Wow.
And then, I don't know, the movie was like every Miyazaki movie you've ever fucking seen. I was like, whatever, man. Like,
I was still very impressed, though. I still like the meme that's out there with Robert Pattinson doing his voice in that movie, where and then they're like, so here's like Chris Pratt. He's like, I'm Mario, I'm Garfield.
I don't
and
like that
then
he's
it's like,
Garfield.
No, I don't either.
He's already Mario. Like, his voice is already super recognizable. Why wouldn't you choose somebody to really be Garfield, like Bill Murray?
Bill Murray was a good. He was a good voice for Garfield.
Yes, he was. That's something. He was a good voice for Garfield.
But there's also other people out there who would have been really good voices as well. I don't really understand why they went that, but that's neither here nor there. It was just very funny that he's just like, I'm just using my voice. But then like Robert Pattinson's like,
because he's an actor.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
he's handsome. I love him.
He's the Batman.
He is the Batman.
It was a wicked movie.
That was a very good movie.
Then I went and saw Poor Things.
Yes,
where you get to see Emma Stone naked.
Oh, it's Emma Stone.
Full frontal naked, like through like so much of the movie.
Oh, really?
But it's like weird nudity. But I worked past that. I worked past that. I was like, art nudity, don't give a fuck. Take all that out of your mind. There's Emma Stone naked. Rape?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, move that aside.
Consensual. Hot.
Yeah.
Right?
I found myself in a weirdly not similar situation, but another kind of like putting everything else aside situation. I scrubbed through Saltburn to find out what everybody was talking about.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that
Was that
movie.
movie any good? No. I was like, what the fuck is this movie even?
It's pretty much Barry Keoghan's excuse to be Barry Keoghan.
Just to be weird as balls.
Just a weird ass dude. But like I was sitting because it was that thing. It's like, oh, the bathroom scene, right? And I'm like, what about the bathroom scene? They're like, oh, the cemetery. I'm like, what are you talking about with the cemetery? So I'm like, I gotta scrub through this goddamn thing and figure out what the hell's going on, right? So it's like a brown bunny hunt for the blowjob where you're going.
What?
Oh, do you remember the movie? Do you remember the movie Brown Bunny with Chloe Sevigny? It was a huge deal back in its time.
Brown Bunny Hunt for the Blowjob.
Yeah. So there's this movie called the Brown Bunny, and it was hosted. Fuck. And it starred Chloe Sevigny, and it was directed by her husband. And in the movie, she gives a full-on real blowjob.
To somebody else that's not her husband.
No, it ended up so they basically body doubled, and she's blowing her husband on camera, but like instead of the actor.
Like...
But it was just kind of like, and I'm just kind of like, that's so weird. That's okay. So I got to see it, right? And so I'm like looking everywhere. I'm like, did I miss the blowjob? And that basically what I was doing with Saltburn. I'm like, what's the bathroom scene? And I'm like, all right, it's weird. It's weird, but it's not gross. Like people were like, I watched that with my parents. I'm like, well, it's weird, but it's not like.
She watched it. I think like 2.5 Men is more awkward than like, that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like every second comment is some dirty innuendo. We're like, wow, this is like that's like the CW straight up. You're like, wow, like
for sure.
But it was but with Poor Things, the movie shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like there's like 20 minutes to go, and then the projector bulb died, and the lady comes in. And she's like, there's like a week within the two movies. And she comes in and she's like, oh, we're going to try and restart the movie or whatever. It doesn't go. And then she's like, this particular projector is an old one with a bulb. Most of the ones we have now are laser. Yeah. This one just died. She was like, you just saw the very last viewing of that projector. And
that's an interesting story.
That's cool, right? I was like, okay, cool. And
can I say, I need to interrupt and I apologize. nobody has had more experience with movies dying in the middle of watching them than you.
Yeah, maybe.
You have,
Yeah,
I have.
maybe.
You,
Yeah.
I would say
Maybe
one
it's
out
me.
of. I would say 1 out of every 5 movies. It feels like you. Like
Yeah,
the fucking
somebody,
thing died.
somebody gets stabbed or
it's always-
dies or grandma's
Yeah.
ripped through the screen or
Yeah.
they
The
got like a bunch of shit to blow the theater up because like the whole thing's full of Nazis. You know what I mean? Every fucking
Every time.
But they said when they came in, the lady.
Yeah.
Which I have them in my pocket right now. She was like, we're going to give you 2 vouchers to see 2 movies because of this, but they have to be Disney movies.
Why?
And I was like, what? And she was like, yes, it has to be either Fox, Searchlight, Fox, 20th Century Fox, Disney, but Disney owned.
Oh.
And it says it on the goddamn thing too.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, what? Like, so I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck, like, when can I ever
Yeah.
use these now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it covers a
Deadpool
pretty
3.
Yeah, it covers a pretty wide swath.
Yeah, but still, you think like it's just, why can't I just go see any movie?
Yeah, it's weird. That sounds to me. So that
I'll show
voucher
it to
is
you, really.
that voucher isn't from the theater. It's from the distributor,
Yeah, it's got to be.
right?
Like,
So
yeah,
it's
I'll
like
take some
so
shit here.
because basically you've already given your money to the distributor in that sense. But that's weird. I've never seen that.
Yeah, and then I was sitting next to somebody and he was like, it doesn't say that on there, but I never looked. And then when I looked after, I was like, it says it right fucking there.
Oh God. Really? That's
yeah.
bananas.
And I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. 1 movie admission for films from the Walt Disney Company and its subsidiaries, including but not limited to Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Studios, and Searchlight Pictures.
Yeah.
And valid for past restricted presentations.
I feel like you'd get in on those. I think
I'm
if
like,
you just
what the? And where is there? I don't see like expires December 31st of this year. So like, I better find something.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will. Like, why not?
Yeah. I
gotta
bet
be something.
I'd be willing to bet that if you just like gave them that, they'd probably just take
They'd
it.
just be like,
or if you
whatever,
book them on your phone, I think there's probably a number on there you could probably
Ooh,
just,
that's not a bad. What is even the next Pixar movie that's coming out? Like,
I don't know the next Pixar one.
just go wait till it gets on Disney fucking Plus.
Yeah. They announced Moana 2, but they've also got the live action Moana, which The Rock
a lot of
is-
Moana.
Speaking, because I know we want to get to kind of some wrestling stuff too.
Oh right,
The
good
Rock-
way of crossing over.
The Rock muscled the main girl, like the girl who plays Moana, has been muscled out of. Oh, I have an extra thing too. But the girl who plays Moana is not going to get the opportunity to play Moana in the movie
Why not?
because I don't know. Their thing is because Moana's 16 years
It's
old. This
young.
girl's in her like late 20s now or something
Right.
like that. So they're going that route. But The Rock is going to get to play.
The Rock.
Yeah, he doesn't play The Rock in the movie, but yes,
He plays Moana.
yeah, he plays Moana too. And so that's happening. But yeah, the other thing I was just saying, because I was telling you I was watching The Ring, I watched it with my daughter. The girl who plays the little girl, like the girl in The Ring who's the Ring girl, if for better or worse, she is the voice of Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Right?
No, not the voice of Stitch, the voice of Lilo.
That's the girl?
Yeah.
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it's good.
It's supposed to be lots of kids. They'll love
fun.
it. They'll love it. I need to get my butt. That's not bad actually.
Thank you. I crush everything.
I need to get I need to get my I had my buddy's code for Disney because they had like one extra person, but once I got onto the P5,
Oh yeah.
I can't sign in because I forgot it. But I'm way behind. I have to see Loki season 2. I have to see Echo.
Yeah.
I have to see lots of shit.
So,
Like I'm way the fuck behind.
lot of good stuff there.
Andor. I haven't seen Andor.
Oh shit! You need Andor is like a game changer for Star Wars. When you've had other things, if you've been disappointed in them, or if you just like I'm just not excited about it. Like Andor got me excited
Right.
for stuff. Like I've always liked Star Wars. Don't get me wrong, but it's
No
like,
shit.
Yeah, I know. But but the no, but like that was one where like it felt like a new experience where everything else just kind of
Right.
felt like a continuation of
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
already
You've already
existed,
seen
right?
like
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. And
Disney Plus is, in my opinion,
yeah.
one of the only streaming services you should actually have. The other ones suck. Netflix, and Disney.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, I watch more. Oh my! I got a Roku stick.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they're great.
All I watch is Cheaters. All I watch is Cheaters. Like it was amazing. Like, like wow. I'm pissed off that they don't have Wipeout.
Oh, that is a
They have like
bummer.
24 hours Fear Factor. It's like every show that
Yeah.
came around Wipeout is there for 24 hours, but not Wipeout.
You know what's on the Samsung TV experience now? Nonstop Conan.
No way.
Yeah, it's all like his.
Oh, so they have a Roku stick now.
Well, no,
whatever.
they've always had their own like Samsung TV as long as smart TVs is
Right, because Disney Plus
yeah.
actually makes Disney actually makes real movies.
Yeah.
That they will put on their thing. Netflix is just like, hey, Martin Scorsese, we're gonna give you $800 million to just do whatever. We don't care. Just your name's on it. Put it on the thing.
Well, I think that's the problem too. Yeah, because like you said, Disney owns so much
Yeah.
that it's very easy for them, and then they can get other stuff on top of that, and then with the Fox and like all this stuff. Canada's a little luckier too because we don't have to split into Hulu. Everything that's on Hulu is on Disney Plus here. So like there's all that stuff. Netflix is like just scrounging and fighting literally every other site for
They
rights to
started
this
it,
shit.
though.
So they started it, but now it's like there's just too many fish in the pond. So they're like, okay, we got to make our own shit.
How? Okay. We spoke about this. This is the great double way to work into the wrestling.
Good, because I have something else that's going to distract us from it.
Netflix, Monday Night Raw
Oh yeah,
is in 2025 is going to be on Netflix.
yeah,
And the WWE network
yeah,
is shutting down.
yeah.
So I don't know, is Netflix getting all of the WWE network stuff?
If that is the case, I will probably get Netflix again because I've had this like real urge lately to watch a lot of the old stuff, like the old. I was like, I want to watch all the old Royal Rumbles.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was
I
like,
don't know where it's
yeah.
going to be now, but it
Yeah.
must be if Netflix.
Yeah,
If they go back, okay. So if they started, okay, now it's bumped up from $9.99 to $14.99.
Yeah.
If they go to you have to pay for the pay-per-views again, that's going to be a fucking disaster.
oh yeah,
I'm not fucking paying $50 for a pay-per-view when I got every pay-per-view for $10.
yeah. No, absolutely. The other thing that's interesting too, that kind of falls under that was the whole NFL playoffs thing, because Peacock, I think it was Peacock. They got the
That's who has WWE
Yeah.
Network in the States.
Yeah, they had the rights to to one of the Kansas City playoff games. Only them.
Only them.
It did not come on television in the U.S. It came on television here because they did. It's again the rights are different, but they base it, and we don't have Peacock. But the in the States, if you wanted to watch one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl play in one of their playoff games, which was going to be, and like football fans watch all the playoff games.
Yeah.
They're like, you're going to have to get Peacock. And people lost their fucking minds.
Look at it, it's just feeling like NBC like it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, man, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. Well, and they were like, oh, we're just trying it out and seeing. It's like the second you start putting those behind a paywall like that,
Oh,
people are
yeah.
going to lose their minds. Because,
this is what I don't know what they're going to be doing with the WWE Network.
yeah. Because it's the same thing, like, because CBS has Paramount Plus. What if they were just like, oh, okay, we're going to put our games on Paramount Plus, and then Fox
And
goes, oh, we'll put our
here's-
games on Disney Plus.
Here's the, see, this is the thing that sucks about fucking streaming. But I'm super happy because I actually have Netflix, and they're like, Raw is gonna. I don't have Raw before. I have Raw
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But okay, here was the thing that we spoke about before too.
Yeah.
My aunt has told me now that she has Prime.
Oh, yeah.
And even in the paid one, there's commercials now.
Yes.
There's fucking commercials. What? Why? Okay, in the very beginning of all this
Yeah.
shit, this was supposed to be commercialless TV.
Yeah.
And now they've slowly working it down to
Yeah.
that we're going to get commercials. And this, if
Yeah.
Raw can very well go no commercials.
Yeah.
It's easy. Like they run house shows, a pay-per-view. It's the same fucking thing. They show
Yeah,
video
we had a
package,
good conversation about that.
blah, blah, blah. But is Monday Night Raw going to have commercials? And if
Yeah.
it does, is that opening the door for other shows on Netflix
Yeah.
or other streaming to then have commercials?
Yeah.
Why don't we just go back to regular fucking TV then?
I'll tell you my feelings on the whole commercial thing. I don't want my program, if I'm paying for a service, I don't want my program broken up by commercials.
Yeah.
If I could pay less for the service and they threw a couple commercials out at the beginning, I have no problem
Oh,
with that.
like I said, dude, Tubi is totally
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
They have commercials.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But what I'm
The
saying
movie
is
is
like,
uncut, it's untouched, and they show a quick commercial.
Yeah.
I'm cool, but I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying. You mean
yeah,
like if I get
in my world, I would rather have a thing where say, okay, $14.99 for Netflix, $9.99. We're gonna throw a couple commercials on at the beginning of
Same
the show,
content,
and
though.
then same content.
You get everything.
and completely uninterrupted. I
Yes.
liked like after that, and then
I'll bet
maybe
you a
couple
lot of
commercials at
people
the
would
end before
work
you
down,
watch.
go back down to the commercial one.
Yeah, I like for that. I have no problem. It's like the movies. You get commercials before the movies, and then previews, and
Then previews, and then
everything
yeah.
else.
Well, that's
So-
okay. Well, this is not cutting
Yeah.
into the movie.
Yeah, but I would take 2 minutes. Give me like a minute of commercials, and then you could promote things on your streaming.
Or
site
when they
whatever.
have like because they're showing things without commercials, the time it ends is always fucked.
Yeah.
So then, like in between that time to that time, you can throw something in there.
Yeah,
So right, whatever. Like you're if they're not going to show a commercial for something else, they're going to show a commercial for what you're already watching.
yeah,
Like, hey, you're watching Netflix. Here's other thing. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm already here.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I get it in terms of, hey, like instead of like just having a thing you could click on, it's like, hey, this might be something you're interested in. They're sort of related.
There's too many that's ruining.
Yeah.
It's ruining everything. I can't watch everything now. The Oscars come out. It's like I'm not having 8 streaming services so I can watch every one of these
No.
movies. Back in the day, man, we could go to the video store. There was every movie,
Yeah.
whatever. I could pick each one, watch it, and now I'm like, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
The whole fucking thing.
I still think I pitched the idea once on the show, but I would love for them to be able to have a very specific rights thing where it doesn't matter where these things have the rights to go, but the Oscars or the Academy had its own streaming service.
Right.
That when the Oscar nominations come up, every movie
They
came
go
up.
there.
You could pay for the thing, and they could pay out royalties to all the other streaming services or whatever. But they make like a bit more money. So people who are interested in that could go to one place, one-stop shop,
Yeah.
watch all of them.
Like a
It would
video
probably cost a
store.
little bit more, but
No, but it'll be
Yeah.
like in the sense of going to a video store, but
Yeah.
it is everything from all the streaming platforms.
yeah.
Right, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
essentially.
Like, although I know a lot of people that just go online and just look it up. I don't even know where they go. I'm like, wow, I don't know how we're watching this. Like, I don't
Secret.
fucking know. Oh my god!
Secret
Before I forget,
Yeah.
I watched a show on Netflix that was so like off my radar. I don't even know why I watched it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Mhm.
I think it's called like
Friends.
Kunk on Earth. And it's this British comedian chick, and she goes through the history of mankind. Dude,
Oh,
oh my god.
She's fantastic.
It is, dude. The show is like one of the best shows I've seen
I don't
in
think-
so long.
I've seen so much of it, but I've never.
Oh,
I
dude,
didn't know the title.
It was so fucking funny. I couldn't believe it. I don't
Yeah.
even know I watched it. I don't know how I ended up watching it, but I was just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't know what to watch. I was like, I'm watching this. and I was like, oh my god. I was like, this. It takes you a minute
Yeah.
to realize that this is not serious.
Yeah.
So you're just like, what? Like,
Well, because
you're like, what?
yeah.
And you're like, okay. You're like, okay, this
Yeah.
is a
This is
satire.
a
This
fun-
is a. But you actually do learn things. They say real
Yeah.
things, and I was like, it was really, really fucking good.
I always thought that Andy
Kunk
Daly.
on Earth.
Yeah, I always thought that if they were to make like an American version of the same show, they should get Andy Daly to do it
Right.
because I thought that he'd do a really good job.
It's Kunk. Her name's Philomena Kunk.
Yeah, that's
And I saw a thing where she's in a Ricky Gervais
yeah.
show or movie because it was Ricky Gervais, being Ricky Gervais, and there
Yeah.
she was. And I was like, oh, there she is.
That's awesome.
She must be gaining track. I guess she's got her own show, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah, it was. I've seen a lot of that stuff, and I like watching the people like kind of. It's kind of like the old Daily Show when people would show up and like they would ask like stupid questions, and they would be kind of thrown off. and be
Right.
Like, what? Wait, what?
and in every episode, for no reason, it took like 3 episodes before I was like, okay, this is gonna keep happening. But you forget every time is it goes into Pump Up the Jam. And it goes the same every fucking episode. They're like, and then suddenly the number one song was Pump Up the Jam, but it always works in some weird, and you're like, by like the 6th episode, you're like, fucking son of a bitch. Like, here's goddamn, like,
You got me again.
Pump Up the
Oh,
Jam. Like, you're like, what the fuck? But I would
amazing.
recommend to everybody really watching it. It's very smart.
Yeah.
It's very funny, and I think I learned some shit, like, which I didn't really sign up for, but you walk out of something with some more knowledge.
Well, it's like when I took my wife to meet sloths, and I thought we were just gonna pet sloths and go, ooh, sloths, and then we learned.
you learned
shit.
all types of shit.
That's how they get you, man. That's how they get you.
Tell
one-
you how to feed a sloth to an alligator.
Right.
That's good.
No, they were all alligator free. One of them had ulcers.
Oh,
He's like the one that's like the friendliest one. He's like he's in the medical area right now. He's got ulcers, and he's like he's on Pepsid,
He's
and,
like
like-
Pepsid.
and they're
You
like,
should take my tummy pill.
Yeah.
I'll fucking put you right, buddy.
there you go. But I want to bring up one last thing that just kind of came up recently, just before we get to the wrestling stuff. I know, like we had 2 times.
Oh, we totally did. We
2
were
times the
right
perfect
off.
thing,
Yep.
and we're just like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
But Disney, going back to Disney, They just invested $1.5 billion in Epic Games.
Okay.
So they've often been partnering with Fortnite to have their
thinking,
skins in the
who's
game and
Epic?
stuff
Okay,
like
Fortnite,
that.
okay.
So Fortnite, Rocket League, all these kind of things.
Right.
So what they are doing, and I don't know, I know you're not a Fortnite guy, but within Fortnite right now, there's new games that are showing up
inside,
Fortnite
yes,
that aren't Fortnite.
Yep,
So there's a music-based game.
I'm forced to watch my nephew Noble play Fortnite all the time.
There you go. There's a racing game and there's Lego Fortnite. So Lego Fortnite is basically Minecraft with Lego. And then you're using little Lego characters who are based on like the Fortnite skins and stuff that exist. But it plays just like Fortnite. Like you go and you mine the crap, you get to build stuff up. But but everything's made out of Lego and it's really cool. It's really good looking. And it's fun to play. And Disney made this announcement. They're putting in the thing and they're getting their own game or games that are gonna. This is what's kind of cool because Fortnite is no longer just a game, it's a game network. You get Fortnite and you open it up and then you choose what game you want to play.
Yes, I was like, wow, there's all types of them, rows and rows.
But now now they're making one super specific because before it was just different versions of Fortnite, right? It's like
somebody's made a
4
game
versus
within the
4,
game.
It's no build, it's this. So now this is just like
It's
Lego
Inception
Fortnite.
for me.
Lego Fortnite is a completely different entity. You don't fight other people. Like it's not the same game at all. It's just a completely different game. Disney's doing the same thing, and they showed the map, and it looks like the Fortnite map, except it's 5 maps that are all connected together. Or it was more than that, whatever. But there's one big central one, and it went off to like Marvel Land and Star Wars Land and Pixar Land, and so like they're coming up with this whole new thing. They're going absolutely all in on this, and it was really exciting looking to see. Like there's no real information on it, but just seeing what it was and seeing how well they've done with the characters and stuff when they make the characters in the game and stuff, you get like all the different skins and stuff. It's fantastic.
You get okay, wait a second.
Yeah.
In Fortnite, can you win the skins, or do you have to pay for them with your own money?
You can.
Nobody does though. They just buy what do you call it? Like microtransaction stuff. That's how that game makes $1 million.
Oh god, yeah.
And every kid's like for no fucking reason at all, but because they don't have a job,
Yeah.
so they have no idea what money means.
Yeah.
They're just like, I have to spend every cent you have on all these stupid dances. It's like who cares?
Oh, you gotta have the dances.
Like who the fuck? The guy's got a new hat. Like Malibu fucking Stacy. Like who cares?
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting, but as you go and you get levels and stuff, you can get V-Bucks, which is what you spend on the stuff in there. So you can earn V-Bucks for free as you go.
V-Bucks
it's just a much
V-Bucks sound like something you win at like the dirty, when they have like Comic-Con, but they do it with all the porn chicks.
Yeah.
That's where you get V-Bucks.
Yeah. So to get those levels, it would be like to start earning those specific levels, you would have to get the the battle pass, which would cost you money that one time. And then if you chose to do this, you would earn enough V-Bucks to renew your battle pass every single time if you made it through all the levels.
That's cool.
So, and the levels aren't like it's just like as long as you keep playing, it's just
whatever. Like this is like a big fucking money grab.
Yeah.
Think Nintendo ever does any of that shit? Come on.
Well, I mean, Nintendo has Fortnite.
So yes.
Yeah.
So yes. Then. So yes.
Yeah. They don't do it quite like that, but they of course like they do smaller versions with DLC or whatever. But
I'm sure they make the whole thing too that it's like, all the V-Bucks you used, because we have a ridiculously small cycle of your battle time. You can spend it on, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like.
Yeah, no, I'm not don't get me wrong. I'm no fan of microtransactions. It's actually interesting when I went to San Francisco to cover the game.
Oh, here we go. Shout out to Kevin when you saw Kevin Bacon of this thing.
No, he and I.
Let's see how
Kira is great. Kevin, not so much. No. Ever since I saw his penis, he and I have had beef that he doesn't know about. He's got all beef.
I'm the opposite. I'm like, Kevin Bacon.
Man. Actually,
I guess all penises. I remember too, because then I felt like, oh my god, maybe my penis is like way too small. Yeah. I remember like seeing them and being like, wow, Kevin Bacon's had like, quite a hog on. But it's like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, oh no, I sound like I have a tiny penis.
Well, I saw Drake's penis yesterday, and I was
what?
Like, what is that? Yeah, he apparently sent a lewd
cut
video.
Or uncut.
I think it's uncut, but you would never be able
Oh,
to tell from this thing.
God.
He was waving around what I thought was a lightsaber, and like it glowed and everything. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, and I'm always that guy. I was like, Chris Brown's.
Was there
penis was out
ever a
there, and I
black
was like,
lightsaber?
What?
There was
There's
like
the
a
dark saber.
The
yeah.
dark saber. He was wielding the dark saber.
Yeah, except it was floppy, and while also hard. He was sitting there. It was like
Well,
legit. He's just going
Well,
like,
no, that's
and then he
because
gives like a
no, that's the
little
problem because
flop, and
when they're too big,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there's
no
kind
structure.
of curved. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not like it's not like my little rocket. You know,
What
he's
you
like
need-
to the sky.
you
This
need
guy,
to-
it's kind of
It needs to grow 2 extra penis shafts from the thighs to create like a 2
like
triangles.
that joint that Seth Rogen rolls, like that cross joint.
Oh yes, but yeah, you need something to actually give it some proper structure so it doesn't collapse.
So you saw Drake's penis.
Yeah, I saw
Good
it.
for you.
It was
It was something. I heard Jay-Z's got a
Humbling. It
rock
was
and
humbling.
hog too. I heard Jay-Z's got a huge
man.
dick.
I'll bet he's the second person to shit talk Taylor Swift because Beyonce didn't win an award. The Grammys. and
No, she's won every award, but
Yeah.
never album of the year.
Yeah, but yeah. So
Like,
Taylor Swift
doesn't all your money be like? Who cares?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. And it's like, but also you're fully aware of how embarrassing that was, not just for Taylor Swift, but for
Kanye,
Beyonce
for them when
Kanye
Kanye,
happened.
yep.
And then he just goes up and starts going like,
Essentially the same
somebody
thing.
doesn't deserve their awards. I'm not going to say who, but she's got all the awards and her name's Taylor Swift. Like, he didn't say
Wow.
that part.
You know, here's the thing too. Is it's like, well, you know, a lot of the time, yeah. Sorry, Beyonce, it's not the album of the year.
Yeah,
You won Best Actress,
yeah,
essentially, right? But
Yeah.
not Best Picture.
yeah.
Like, fucking get over it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just one of those things where it's like, and it is bottom line. It's just like who
The Grammys
there-
just happen.
Yeah, and it's just really like who, like you said, who cares?
Yeah, like,
It
no one
cannot-
gives a fuck. Like,
It cannot be like
the whole thing's
so-
as fake as it gets anyway. It's
Yeah.
not like a real award show.
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
popularity contest.
Yeah, they're like I don't understand how. It's all egos.
Although the
right? That's
Arcade
all
Fire
thing.
one once, and that was a
Yeah.
big pisser to them too.
Yeah.
There's a shot of like Jay-Z being like, "Who the fuck's Arcade Fire? Who the
Yeah.
fuck?" They just beat you and your
Yeah.
wife for best album.
I'm
year,
so
but,
yeah.
like,
I'm so sorry you don't know them. That doesn't mean they're not good.
right?
Like that always kills me with anything when I'm talking about something. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this thing it's like super popular. I don't know what it is. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that popular didn't get turned activated until you knew.
Right?
Like
Yeah,
it's like
like they
'cause
don't know.
literally
fuck's
everybody
even
else
going
knows.
on. Yo, dig.
Yeah.
Did you see the new park layout for Epic Universe?
It looks fantastic.
Dude, I'm not even kidding you. Okay, so like you're the guy to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so first we've got like I've totally like checked the whole thing out, which is gonna be fun. Dude, I want to go to it so bad.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're gonna have lots of rides right off the bat.
It might be open when I go in October.
I heard 2025.
Oh, I had heard the end of this year, but if that's the case, I'll just
Yeah,
go again.
2025. So first there's like Celestial Park. Where
I would say Celestial,
Oh,
but-
Celestial. Sorry, right. Which looks neat.
Yeah.
But then they have, which I think is super fucking cool, is the Dark Universe.
Yes.
It's going to be like a nonstop haunted zone.
Yes.
So I don't know when, like, I don't know if they would they ramp it up during Halloween, or would then that's where you go during Halloween at this park. If it's right, that's
I feel
so
like
I'm
it would
guessing-
spread over the parks. but-
Right,
Well,
so-
it's not a
so-
California Adventure. Or
It's Florida.
yeah, no. I'm sorry. I'm
It's
thinking.
Universal.
No, I'm thinking of the second Universal Park. The name is escaping me now.
Islands of
This-
Adventure.
Islands of Adventure. That's California Adventure.
Yeah. And so then there's Dark Universe, which is I'm guessing is gonna be all haunted houses and like the
Yeah.
Wolfman and Frankenstein. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking
Yeah,
killer.
that's cool.
And then you've got I'm saving Nintendo for last.
Yeah.
And then
I guess this much. I didn't think you didn't know.
and then it's got a new Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I don't know what it.
Oh,
what
the
place it is.
Ministry is not the Ministry of Ministry of Magic.
Yes, the Ministry of Magic or whatever. And then it's got a big, huge like coaster and shit for How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
and then
they
it's
got their
got
own
Super
land.
Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
which I think
will
is
have
gonna
Donkey Kong Country will be ready when it opens.
So they'll have the Yoshi, the Mario Kart, and the Donkey Kong coaster.
Did you see the Donkey Kong coaster? What it does?
No, I heard it comes off the track. It looks like it comes off the track.
It comes off the track, but the thing is, the track that you're on isn't the track. The track is on the side of the coaster.
Right.
So you're riding like that, so it's jumping, but it's not jumping.
You're like, holy shit! Like, but you're really going along right.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. I was thinking, this is my question because you're like the park guy.
Yeah.
Is it a good idea to go like opening week? No. But I mean, the park is humongous. How many people can they cram into the thing in one day? Like,
they could put so many people in there.
Yeah, right. You it would just ruin the experience. Like,
I would venture to guess you don't get on 3 rides.
Oh, that's fucked up.
I would venture.
You gotta wait for like the next year. Then
those are people. But the thing is, people are going. Oh, I'm saying in a day. I'm not saying if you went there for a week, you'd get on everything eventually.
Right.
But like, that would be my guess is that you're looking at 3 or 4 hour waits for.
That's ridiculous. I didn't wait for 3 or 4 hours for fuck all.
So, and again, this is where they would get you with the.
Do you?
The pass thing. What's that?
Do you wait 3 hours for a ride? I don't.
No.
I don't give a shit what it is.
It's too much. It's too much of my day, and I'm too good at planning that.
Yes,
shit
you're
to
very
not do
good
that
at
anyways.
it. This is what I'm literally thinking. Okay, so like maybe, when it opens, I'm gonna wait, I guess, a little bit, but I'm literally thinking about going to as close as I can and renting a place for like 2 weeks on a B&B instead of going to a hotel.
Yeah,
and then just on my own going daily to the park to then.
Yeah.
Find the day it's not whatever, like.
Well, that's actually my plan. What we're doing this October, the plan is we're going to go between 10 and 14 days. So, because we want to go, it's going to be a Halloween time so we can do the Universal Halloween stuff and all that. But the thing that really excites me about Epic Universe, and this is the one thing I don't like about Universal. I like Universal very much. I like the rides. I'm still way too many 4D rides for my taste. But
right, that's when I was there too. Jesus,
like
Christ.
it's just like 8 out of 10 rides are like 4D.
Yeah. Well, not now. They got lots of coasters.
Well, it's better now, but and it's spread over a couple parks and stuff, and that's great. That one Harry Potter ride, I found it is 28 seconds long.
Which one?
I think it's Escape from
the roller coaster one.
Yeah, I watched somebody go on it. They're like, it's 28 seconds.
Oh no, forget it.
So that's
just ridiculous.
Like, I was
28 seconds.
I got to double check that, but like I need to find another source because that was just based off
that
of
seems
TikTok,
way. Dude, this things like you're not even in the thing.
See,
that's
28
the thing, seconds,
and that's the thing I like about Disney. Like, well, even when they're not thrill rides, it's like the Disney rides are like you waited a long time, and they are a long like.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
I remember you told me before it was like. In the entirety of Universal, there's only so many rides, and in this one area of Disney, they have more rides than that.
Yeah,
and I was like, I remember that. Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Fantasyland had more rides than Universal had. Like, if you just said like you could only have one 4D ride, is like they've got more total than that one area, but it's like if like you just said you get one 4D ride, it was like they've got like twice as many in one spot, but and then they have like 5 other spots in that one park, and then they have 3 other parks, but
so now they have okay, so I guess this is going to be obviously like a separate admission. This is a whole different park. Like this is a whole different thing.
I don't know what they do in terms of Hopper Pass and stuff. I'm trying to educate myself a little bit better on them because I have my Disney Channel.
You have to have the Hopper Pass at Universal if you want to take the train across.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you end up at the other the other side. Or
you're in
the
the other
right?
park,
like,
right? So.
But I don't know if they charge, and it better not be some bullshit where they're charging for each land separately. If it's Epic Universe, the whole thing better be fucking wide open.
Oh yeah, I highly doubt that'll happen. I know that they did that with Harry Potter at the beginning. I don't think they did that with the second.
It looks huge though, that Epic Universe, man. Yeah, it looks gigantic. Holy shit!
And the thing I was getting to before I interrupted myself because I'm an idiot is the one thing I like about that one that excites me more about that one than any of the other ones, it feels the most like an actual theme park. Like when you go to Universal, it just looks like a bunch of buildings.
Yes.
And it's like, and it's a similar problem that I have with chunks of
I feel like
MGM Studios, or not
like
MGM,
maybe you're supposed to look
Studios.
like, it's supposed to look like a soundstage or something, like the studios inside, they're making the movies, the magic.
Yeah, and I was into that at the time, but now I go there and I'm like, you're just in a hot place where everything's concrete, and you're like, this is fucking stupid.
Right.
And then you go there and you're like every bit, and this is where like, this is where my heartstrings get when I go to those places, is everything is an immersive.
Everything
you
is,
are part of the magic, right?
Yeah,
And
like
I'm
you're
like,
there.
and I don't give a shit about How to Train Your Dragon, but guess what? I'll be like, oh, How to Train Your Dragon, so cool.
I don't either, but yeah, that's cool. I say it's funny that I guess it's made enough money to, well, whatever. As long as they have a sweet roller coaster, I don't give a shit what they call it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
I've seen a few of the rides. Like a lot of the rides have been built already, like, but not like the structures around.
There's like a dueling one. Yeah. I think it's that. It must be the dragon one because it's like a dueling dragon one. It's like 2 coasters going.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Whoa!
I like the idea of that.
It's gonna be hell expensive too. I'm never going there. Fuck that.
Fuck that. I would love for you and me to go and just do like, I don't know how long it would take us to go, but
I don't know how long it's going to take me to lose the weight to be able to fit on the goddamn ride.
The best part about Florida is you're dealing with American standards of getting on shit. I've never had a problem.
Never a problem. That's weird because at Cedar Point I couldn't get on anything.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I was like, holy fuck! Like,
because they make all those.
And it was like all the people here are like way bigger than me. And I was like, nobody's going on rides today. I guess. Like, what? Like,
I know.
What the fuck? Like,
I'm proud to say I've lost about 16 pounds.
Good for you.
So I just stopped drinking pop. I haven't really changed anything
Nothing.
else.
You just stopped drinking pop.
It had been too cold, so as it's warming up, I'm going to start going on more walks and stuff like that.
Oh, I've been to the gym like every single day, but I eat like shit.
I had to stop the gym because I tore both of my shoulders open. And so I was like,
always.
so I can't do any of that shit. And then my knee's always been bad, so doing leg stuff, I can only do so much of that. And my back's to fuck. Like my body's destroyed, so I have to find
okay, right?
Swimming.
Speaking of destroyed,
yes,
Vince McMahon.
Thank you. We're coming to the same frame.
Destroyed his career.
Yeah.
He's left TKO Sports because this huge thing came out that he's running like a sex ring, which is not really that surprising watching all the, the aspects of the Attitude Era. Watch literally any video of Vince McMahon in the ring of the Attitude Era, and you're like, this guy's clearly running some kind of sex ring.
Oh, God.
And Brock Lesnar was apparently implicated in it, so he's been taking up all the games and everything. And
man,
there's all types of shit going on. The Rock showed up and disrupted the WrestleMania scene.
I've never seen something. I would say the last thing that got as much attention as this by like mainstream media was when Mike Tyson showed up. And like he punched Stone Cold or whatever, and then it was like a big thing. They're like, "Oh my God!" And like the real news was taking it up.
He didn't punch him; they kind of had a thing.
Oh yeah, they had a shove.
He shoved them in the ring,
and they thought that they were going to fight at WrestleMania. And
I love that.
Not being the
Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't give a fuck. That was Mike Tyson. Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to give a shit.
His spine didn't even work, and he was still like, "I'll fight you."
Shit. He's like, "You will literally knock me out in 1 second." I
Do
don't give
not
a fuck.
care.
Texas Rattlesnake.
Yeah. I wonder if that would have went the same way for his career that Butterbean versus Bart Gunn went for Bart Gunn.
Oh my God, I just saw a thing of Butterbean versus Johnny Knoxville in the thing.
Oh, I love that so much. Is Butterbean okay?
Is that what he says when he wakes up?
When he wakes up,
is Butterbean okay?
It's the first thing he said.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine, Johnny. But anyway, so all this shit happened in wrestling. Oh, he's going to steal Cody Rhodes' spot and everything. And like I said, that press conference just happened tonight where a bunch of shit went off, and The Rock slapped Cody, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just like it seemed like they did a good job, kayfabe.
Yeah.
But there's no way the cameras are rolling. It's got to be totally planned.
Yeah.
and I heard that, which is really funny, like I said before, is that The Rock, they gave him $30 million to be on the board of directors for TKO. Suddenly, The Rock's daughter becomes the general manager of NXT.
Yeah.
Taking over for Shawn Michaels because she has so much credibility in the industry and so much work booking matches.
The only thing that I can think of at this juncture is that they tried to do this other thing where they're like, oh, we're going to have The Rock go against Roman or whatever. Backfired horribly, and they're like, okay, we're going a completely different route, and you're basically the new Vince McMahon. You're the new no chance in hell guy, because now he could get away with it because 86% of the WWE is related to him.
Yeah, right.
Everybody. There's another guy, I don't know his name, and I don't even know where he's wrestling right now. He's a fat dude. He looks like a chubbier version of Samoa Joe. He's a high flyer. No, he's a straight up high flyer. Like he does giant moonsault. He did one of the best moonsaults I've ever seen in my life.
I wonder if you're talking about Willie Mack.
I don't know, did this this really good move, or he did the moves I've never seen moves like this.
This crazy shit. I wonder if it's a Viking guy, Viking El Hijino or something.
No,
like.
he just looks like another regular ass Samoan dude, because he's another Anoi. And
oh, that might be the one brother. I think I know who you're talking. Fatu. That might be not Jacob Fatu, but he's Fatu's kid, and he's in. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah. I see a bunch of that stuff.
I love
pops
seeing
up on
that
my
shit.
thing,
There's a dude on like Impact Wrestling called PCO.
Yeah.
And he's like this old Frankenstein dude. And
it.
he's like, he walks to the ring, you're like, who the fuck is this old dude? Like, and then suddenly he does like a flip from the top rope. You're like, what the shit? Like, and then he's like, oh, like, oh, because he's like, I don't even know. I think he's half dead for real.
You know what I would love? I would love for another wrestling federation to appear and just be like old 80s wrestling. All gimmick people. Nobody's particularly good. Just a bunch of big
the managers
dudes.
and like the whole thing.
I think it would have a market.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, you know the show that's beating AEW in the ratings is Big Little Brawlers.
Oh,
it's a show. It's like little people wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it looks amazing.
Wrestling's
hot right now, so like it's a thing.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of that because TikTok's an interesting beast, because if you stop to watch anything, they're like, oh, this is what he wants. I'm going to give him all this.
Like pizza.
It's exactly like your pizza thing. And I'm sorry if I scratched you. I have a little sharp bit on my nail.
Scratch yourself. That's a defense wound right there, bud.
Yeah. It's fine.
She didn't stand a chance.
No, she. It was me actually. I was on the bottom of this, but yeah, it was, and I was like, it was one of those like best Royal Rumble like surprise returns, and it had Edge and all the people, like normal stuff, right? I was like, oh yeah, that's fun. And they're like, oh, you like wrestling this much? Okay, here's like this one, and it was I think it was Big Little Brawlers, and it was all these little people wrestling, and he's like, I'm Tiny Dynamite. I'm whatever. And I'm like, oh, you poor sons of bitches. You're human beings. Don't let them name you this.
You're human beings.
I'm Little Rock. And I'm like, oh, God. And he's like dressed like The Rock, and he's got like an eyebrow painted on.
So
and I'm
wicked, Little Rock.
Oh, my God. And then, yeah.
Played him in the show, too.
Yeah, probably. Actually, I made a joke because, you know, the Young Rock show was on Paul Scheer. From the
I like him
and all that.
Yep,
I love him too.
I like him.
He's got a book coming out. So his podcast, he's always just telling like stories, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's this thing when I was a kid, and this happened," and everybody looks at him and goes, "Like, how are you not taken out of your home? Like your life sounds fucking weird." Where he tells a story about when he was like 5 years old and he tried to French kiss his mom, and like the time he was working at Blockbuster and he got a female, like a girl who went to school with him, and like to flirt with her, he said, "Oh, you look like Jamie Gertz," and brought her in to do a fake Jamie Gertz autograph session at the Blockbuster video. And I kept thinking, I'm like, you need to like write a book or something, because these are great stories. And he's got a book coming out, and I just responded on Twitter, and I was like, it needs to have a companion show in the style of the style of Young Rock or Muppet Babies. And he responded to me.
No way.
Yeah, and he said, no, it's going to be reverse. It's going to be reverse Roger Rabbit. He's like, I'm animated. Everybody else is human.
That's cool.
So,
no shit, he actually responded to you.
So yeah, so shout out to him. He emailed me one time.
No shit.
Yeah, I was, I wrote like a thing. It was when Reese was 1 and he had pneumonia, and I was like staying in the hospital with him, and I never slept the entire time. I was just like sitting in this chair, and I was watching and I was listening to How Did This Get Made episodes. And I just kept listening, and like I was episode after episode. I was just starting, and we had just started the podcast.
Right.
And that was this podcast I started listening to when I was like, I'm trying to find out that the idea for this podcast we weren't ripping it off somewhere. Right. So I was looking out of the podcast, and I fell on that podcast. I'm like, this one's really good. I know these people. I like them. I'm going to just keep listening to it. And I went through like 50 or so of these things, and I'm just sitting there, and I just wrote something, and I was kind of just telling the story of where I was at and stuff. And at the time, it was still like they would take donations. He's like, I'm totally going to donate to this show when like after it was like Christmas is coming up. I'm going to donate after Christmas. And he emailed me, and he said, do not donate to the show. He's like, get your kids something good and just put from Paul, June, and Jason on it.
Anyway.
So I did. I got the kids each something. I got Abby a bunch of like dress up things, and I got Reese a giant Chewbacca. And I did that, and I sent that to him, and he's like, "That's amazing," whatever. So
super cool.
yeah, he's like, I showed everybody, and I showed everybody, and he's like, they think it's awesome. I'm like, that's awesome.
Well,
I was
that's
like,
super fucking cool.
yeah, that was I was in such a rough place because Reese was in such bad shape. He was a baby with pneumonia. And he was
Right.
asleep all the time, and he just like it didn't look like things were gonna turn dark by any means,
but it was still not a
just
nice
so
place to
scary,
be.
and it was
Yeah,
just,
right. Of course you're gonna skip the fucking
Yeah.
like, yeah.
yeah.
The
So
fuck.
so yeah, shout out to Paul for that.
Shout out to Paul
Shout out to-
Schaefer.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah. Every other Paul.
Oh, the Paul. No, I know Paul. That's not for him.
No,
Every other Paul but that motherfucker.
never you that Paul.
Yeah.
And then you find out, and then you start describing. You're like, no, that's Paul Shear. Oh shit,
Oh, fuck.
the loop. Oh man. All right. Well, we've
We've been talking for a while on this little mini-sode.
sure have, and it took us 45 minits to get to wrestling, and it only took us 3 minutes to get
We didn't
through.
even get it. Fuck it, whatever. There's lots of wrestling drama. Oh, who's
Yeah.
gonna fight at WrestleMania?
Yeah. Well, they're both big things.
It's official. It's Cody
It is Cody.
versus Reigns.
We did it.
So I'm hoping that my hope is that Rock has to fight Seth Rollins, which will be amazing.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins will absolutely not put up with this nonsense. He will destroy The Rock.
It'd be interesting.
He's got 60 days to get his cardio up.
Yeah.
Somewhere roughly 60 days.
Yeah. There's no doubt that he's at least not hitting the gym. Like he like
Yeah, he's
but
got shit
again,
cardio though.
yeah.
What's funny too is that CM Punk, back in the day, this exact same thing happened to CM Punk.
Yeah.
Where he was supposed to be in the, or maybe whatever, supposedly in the WrestleMania main event. The Rock came in. He had to fight The Rock, and he bitched and moaned that The Rock's cardio was garbage, and they had to have tons of rest spots because The Rock is just gassed out like 5 minutes in.
That sucks.
And now guess what? CM Punk comes back and he's gassed out within 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all goes around.
Yeah.
Should be
And the
interesting.
cat's in
As
the
long as I
cradle.
can yell at my TV, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know why people make such a big fucking deal either. It's goddamn wrestling.
I know.
Who the fuck cares if Cody doesn't finish the story? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like I'm a big wrestling fan too, and I'm like, bummer summer, but I'm sure the millions of dollars that they make,
Yeah.
especially Cody Rhodes being at the top of the car, being the,
Yeah.
he's making millions of dollars. It's like I don't need a title.
Yeah.
Just tell me what to do. I'm your toy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Boo
Yeah.
hoo boo. Like
Yeah, it would be different if like wrestling was like like a legit sport,
Right.
Where having the
Exactly.
title would get you a bigger paycheck and
Right.
stuff like that. Now, granted, it sort of does
think it
because
does
if you're
kinda,
if
but
you're a
it's,
main event, well, because it
yeah.
means you're the main event guy.
But I hear
and-
know exactly what you're saying. Yes.
yeah. But at the same time, like there should be like, hey, if you're going to be near the top of the card every time, no matter what,
Yeah,
you're going
like,
to be
what does
you're
it
gonna
matter?
Be highly featured.
Yeah, like you can't have the belt all the time. Like finish the story.
unless you're Roman Reigns.
I want him to finish
apparently.
the story too, but I fucking hate Roman Reigns. So I can't stand Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like altogether, like he's a shit wrestler. He's
I-
a shitty fucking like.
His name's Joe, and he had cancer, so I give him a little bit.
That's
of
cool.
chill.
I get, but they've been stuffing him down our throat for like 10 fucking years.
Yeah.
And yes, God mode Reigns was cool, but the story ended a long time ago. He hasn't wrestled at all, barely
Yeah.
the whole year. Like he should have lost it to Sami Zayn like a long fucking time ago.
I don't know most of these people. I could point them out. Like you're like, who's Sam? Like,
Yeah.
Sam. I don't know.
Canadian
anything
boy.
about him. I know. Actually, was it Sami Zayn?
Probably
Who was
Kevin
on-
Owens. Kevin Owens or
no,
Sami Zayn.
No. I was thinking. Yeah, I think it was Sami Zayn who was on the Chris Gethard show.
Right.
And they did They did a whole thing where he was on. They were at Comic-Con, and he came on the show. And then they just talked about ska the entire time.
Yeah,
and
he's
how
a
much
big
he's
yeah,
into
because
ska
he
and
totally
stuff
is.
like
Oh
that.
my god, like Daniel Bryan's going to be at Comic Con,
Oh yes.
and it's like $900 for like a half an hour with him. I'm like,
Oof.
whoa!
Like to fight him?
I hope so.
Nice. Did you see any of the footage actually of the Jericho cruise?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It looked sad.
Yes, it did.
It
Yeah.
did.
Yes, it certainly did.
There's like
Him and old ass Paul White come out, and I'm like, oh my
yeah,
god.
he didn't look thrilled to be there.
He's all hunched over. He's got like gigantism hard now. He's like
Yeah.
all bent over like Andre.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it's getting to be that
I
time.
don't know why
guess.
they wouldn't fucking, just have fun. Fuck it. You're there. You get
Well, that's
paid.
the
I mean,
thing,
the
and you could tell they were
Jericho's,
just fucking around with
And
it.
then
Right?
Fozzy like has a show,
Yeah.
Fozzy plays a fucking
Those
show.
it's really interesting those shows because it's like Impractical Jokers had their cruise, and
Who knows when it could happen?
Yeah, no, but they weren't doing that kind of
That's
shit.
not
Like,
shrimp.
they did they just did their normal stage show on there, but then they had a bunch of
the
other.
whole thing.
That
Is
would have
like
been.
you could be pranked at any moment on this cruise.
You lay down and you're like, I'm not in my bed, Sal.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's what it should have fucking been.
That would be amazing. They did that. They went on a cruise ship and did all that, but it wasn't their cruise. It was a way to
It was like
promote
somebody
that they're
else's.
doing a cruise. But yeah, it's I find those interesting because I'm like, they're always smaller cruise ships and they're always like hyper focused. Like, so like those ones are like comedy cruises. So it's like just
They
comedians.
do metal ones too.
Yeah.
Like Lamb of God and all them are on the
Yeah.
some of them sound pretty good.
I don't want
to be in a cruise though.
I don't want to be
I
rocked.
work on boats.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to fucking go on a vacation on one. Like, fuck that.
That makes total sense to me. There's been so many bad cruise stories lately.
Yeah,
too,
what the
and
fuck?
stuff.
Tom Cruise, boat cruise,
Yes.
fucking cruise control,
Yeah, right. But the
cruising.
yeah, no, but it's like some of these other cruising USA,
Yeah.
cruising the world. But like, but you hear all these things like the Carnival Cruise has this, and then the Royal Caribbean has this, or whatever. I was really excited, and I'm still working towards hopefully being an influencer invited to the new Disney cruise that's coming out next December or this
Yeah, you made a
December
thing.
coming up. And I made a video on it, and I'm doing some other stuff Disney wise, and I'm hoping that becomes a thing. But like, I like their cruises are like, when you lay out what they do, it's just, there's so many different things happening, and that's why I wouldn't like those little cruises that are all the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's actually something I appreciate too, because something I didn't really know about with these cruises. You'd go out on these excursions, and sometimes you'd go on excursions that like are third party, like
Yes.
you buy them from other people. Then you get back late, and the cruise ship's gone.
They're
because
gone.
they don't fucking wait for
Yeah,
you.
you're
And you
fucked.
got to
Do you know
fly
how
to
much
the
money
next place.
it costs to wait? It's like astronomical.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and they had said they used to wait for people, but they said like every minute is like, I can't say that, but it was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It's just, well, and that makes total sense. And it's just
I'll
like,
tell you what time to get back.
yeah. And I was watching one time where there was somebody showing up, and like you see the person's on the boat and they're videotaping, and so it's already leaving, and the person's like, no. I'm like, what do you think they're gonna do? Back up? Like, do you think, guys, there's one, we got one? No.
You know what? Here's the thing too. If you're gonna be like, the cruise ship shows up at this place and you're the third party that's taking them somewhere, I would make them late on purpose, because now they're gonna be have to take another cab somewhere. They're gonna have to buy a plane ticket. They're gonna be giving to the economy of this little place. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna totally fuck your vacation over here, buddy.
Yeah, and that's another thing though that I liked about the Disney ones, because they've got the Castaway Key place, which they own. So it's like there's no
They fucking own it.
there's no third party. It's all the
all
the
them.
Caribbean cruise ship
It's all
stuff
timed
there.
well. It's
And
all
yeah, so it's like I don't have to worry. See, that's the thing for me for vacations. When it comes to that stuff, I want that shit taken care of for me.
Well,
I don't want to
yeah.
have to think about logistics while I'm on vacation.
that.
I know I do a lot of like planning and like lightning lane.
Well, that's
shit
why you do
and
it.
whatever, but it's like, other than that, it's literally I did the work ahead of time. Now let me chill out. So
Right, exactly. That's the point. Fuck yeah.
And so I'd be so stressed if I was on an excursion. I would be so goddamn
The whole
stressed on
time.
it
That's
that
funny
it's-
that you say that, because every time I'd get off the boat in the canal, it was always ruined with like, what time? Where's the boat? What time's the boat going to be there? And you're always looking, and you're always like, oh, what if I miss it? What if blah, blah? And it's like, yeah. I'm always like, fuck, like.
Yeah.
And then you get to there, and then the boat doesn't show up because it's stuck in a lock. And you're like, fuck's sakes. And then
Yeah.
you're worried for nothing. And then you sit there for 3 hours.
Well, it's even when I took the train to and from work. Like if I deviated from my like schedule for a half second, I missed the train going home, and I gotta wait like a half hour or an hour depending on when I'm getting off for the next one. And I'm like, that's time I could be sleeping, and I'm just like, fuck.
Yep.
So and like
Sleep right
anything
there.
happens, I'm like, fuck you, I'm leaving. It's like, and you'll be running sometimes, and you could see the guy like sitting there looking, and I get up and I'm running to get to the first door, and he's like, oh, fuck you. And I'm like, hitting the thing, and it's just like, they have their fun with that in the morning, I think.
Of course they do. That's the best part of their fucking day.
I get it. And in the end of the day, I'm happy to just be a part of
They
somebody's
laugh
story.
and somebody falls on the tracks. They just laugh and laugh.
That's how Serendipity should have ended. Or no, not Serendipity, Sliding Doors.
I know. So fuck that serendipity.
Serendip-
That is how it ends.
Yeah. Well, Serendipity and Sliding Doors had that same kind of energy.
I haven't seen what's her name from Serendipity in a while, eh?
Beckinsale?
She really melted.
Yeah. Hope
Her
so.
wax figure. She's really hideous now. She clearly made a deal with Satan.
I hope
So
so.
at some point in time, them looks are going to turn around.
Yeah.
Same thing happened to Kathleen Turner.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Kathleen Turner.
I had. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing that made me feel really bad for Kathleen Turner is when she started playing Chandler's father on Friends.
Yeah, that
I
was like
this
super
is-
like.
I was like, she's a pretty big deal. Let's put a little respect on her name and not point out the fact that she looks and sounds like a man. The only thing that I would like to have known would have been for her to have found out she pitched it because she thought it would be funny.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, she's in on the
she
joke.
still did it though, so she must
Yeah.
have somewhat been in on the joke. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh my god.
But it's exactly like all the fat girls in
Marriage
Married with
oh my
Children.
god, dude! I was literally you fucking took the words right out of my mouth. Like, oh my god.
All I do is feel guilty for them when they're sitting there. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh,
you're just going to be called fat for the next 8 minutes by Al and whatever shoe person.
I am
works with
sure that, and a lot of the time it's the same black-haired lady.
him. Yeah.
So I'm sure that she was definitely in on the joke.
Yeah.
And I'm sure afterwards they were probably like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
I hope
I
they're
hope
probably
so.
super nice to her.
But the 80s being what they were, like if you think
like
about
the
every
long
other
duck dong?
yeah, you think about every other stereotypical thing.
just
I
like
was
you
like,
and
that
Jeff the other
wasn't
day
happening.
too, and I was like,
Oh,
long duck dong,
UHF
there he
is so
is.
fucking good.
Then I just
But-
saw it again. I was like, amazing.
And like he made some success out of that and like, did the best. But I'm like, long term, I don't know. I was like, would you rather have not been doing that and just being able to
Is
be
that
an
the
actor?
time we've been talking for?
No, that's. No. No, that's how long we've been talking for.
Holy fuck! It's almost the same thing.
Almost. No, that's I haven't changed the clock on that since
haven't
I
changed my undies.
unplugged it. Yeah, but I always feel bad about that, and I think about the same thing with like race stuff, and it's like any Japanese person in anything in the 80s are like, oh, here's your camera, so
He
you can
said
take
that it like
pictures of
ruined
everything
his
and go
life
psycho.
pretty much, like
Yeah.
long duck dong.
Yeah, and was it Brian Tochi? He had similar problems.
Yeah.
And like it happens and it sucks. And
I never took it like that though when I was
No.
watching it. I just thought it was funny.
well, but
I
that
never thought that this is really how Asian people are. I just
No.
thought it was like a stereotype. It was
Yeah.
funny.
I know, and that's the thing though, and that's like, and I guess like it's normalizing, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like it's desensitizing, where it's fine that that's happening.
But I
and it's
wasn't
like,
there, right? I don't know.
No, exactly.
Take the role and you're gonna make some money, and then afterwards you feel like shit because all your own people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
His parents are probably yelling at him all the time, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck!" Like,
He's getting called an Uncle Tang.
yeah. And then every time anybody talks to him, like, "Don't shit," you know what I mean? And you're just like, "Oh Jesus Christ!" Like,
Yeah. But it's like, and it's everything with that stuff. It's like I think about what like anybody just even as kids is like, oh, I saw a Chinese person. They were like ching ching chong, and I'm like, I bet they. And now you like look back on that, and you just want to be able to go back into my old body and go, no, they weren't. No, they
That
weren't
is
doing
not
that.
what happened. Yeah, at all.
It was like they did not. I was like, if they did get out nunchucks, that would be nice to hear.
I'm sad that they got rid of racism.
Yeah, I know.
What a fucking waste.
Yeah. I
There's
want
like
to.
so many women on TV and like minorities. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
what is happening with this world?
I used to feel seen as a white man. Now I have to like
Right?
wade through all these
Am I
people getting
now?
equal opportunities. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
so
there's
for it.
one.
I don't give a fuck. I'm
Yeah.
like, right on.
No, I'm down.
I never got, any, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, let it all be women. Any video game I play as women, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You can even have all the shows like a woman got a mustache on. She's like, I'm the boss. I'm a man. I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Right on.
Yeah. A little off topic. I was just saying you were talking about Kathleen Turner and stuff, and then you were talking about aging and things like that. I had made the comment today. My wife's watching Succession, and I was like, Brian Cox is doing kind of a reverse Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd has not aged since being a young man. Brian Cox aged to a certain point and stopped.
And stop
And I was
aging.
like, he looks exactly the way he did when he was in The Ring, which was like, which was almost 20 years
A
ago.
lot of shit, eh?
Yeah, he was, and then I was like, and then he looks exactly the same as he did when he was in Braveheart, which
He's
was
had,
10 years before
yeah,
that.
he's had a great career.
So many good things, but he also does so much shit. and he's just fine with it. He's just like, I'll do
Yeah.
whatever. Like he was
Yeah.
freaking Johnny Knoxville's dad in that that was the
Ringer,
Ringer, where
The Ringer.
where he's playing the Special Olympics kid. He was in Super Troopers.
Super Show. I don't know how they got him, but he was amazing. That movie is fucking awesome.
And that's the thing. You look at all those and you're like, how did they get him? But he's always doing it.
Nielsen.
Yes.
Okay, I guess before we go here. If we're going, I don't know.
Yeah, we need
Nielsen still does ratings.
Oh, yeah.
They have come out with the top 10 most streamed shows of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So, regular TV is not really a thing. So I guess in a sense you could say that this the top 10 shows on the planet.
Yeah.
Take a guess. Do you know what it is? Take a guess what the number one most streamed show of 2023 was.
The Office.
No, The Office was in the top 10.
Yeah.
It takes place in an office.
Okay. The Office.
Yes.
Yeah!
UK.
Oh.
You'll never guess it.
Oh, okay. I hate these things.
Suits.
Oh, I heard about
Suits.
this. I didn't hear that it was number one, but what I did
number
hear,
one.
What I did hear, that's
This is like the worst show I've ever fucking seen.
I'm saying it right now. The only people who are watching Suits who got those numbers up are people who are like, Meghan Markle was in a TV show. That's exactly
Right?
what fucking happened, and I'm saying that right now because I've seen episodes of Suits.
It's terrible.
garbage.
It is
But-
like the worst trash. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this? It's like a soap opera.
It was garbage.
It's like they're sitting in shitty suits, sitting
Yeah.
in an office somewhere, and they're like having the most
Yeah.
intense. I thought you were representing me in the Borchatti case. Is that what you thought? Well, you didn't think that before you did this to Frank. And it's like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm just like, oh my God.
And
Like,
they go, and that sound happens too when the reveal happens. It goes dun dun
and he gets
dun,
up,
Suits.
and he gets up, and he like, as he's walking to the door, the guy behind the desk is like, yeah, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. And he turns around and he's like, you'll see me never. And I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like, it's just
Yeah.
like the most ridiculous. Okay, so number one was Suits. Number two was Bluey,
Yes.
which I'm guessing is some fucking kid show.
Yeah.
And guaranteed it's number two because you're like, plop your kid down.
You press
Bluey
play,
stays
you-
on repeat for 14
Yeah.
days.
That's why Treehouse is a friggin' gold mine.
Yes. Suits, Bluey. Number Cora, some other kid show was 5. Coco something.
Oh yes.
Coco.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember what the other ones are, but Suits just rocked. I was just like,
Yeah.
you have got to be fucking
Yeah.
kidding me.
I had read that they were thinking about doing some kind of a reboot thing coming off of this thing. And now when I'm putting all these things together, because I'm sticking by what I said about the Meghan Markle thing, she's not going to be in the fucking show. So
No.
they're going to put it out. I think it's going to fucking tank.
Oh, like they're doing new Suits?
They're talking about it.
Oh, God. Number 10 was Supernatural.
Oh yeah,
That
Supernatural's
show
still
is
big.
a juggernaut of like.
Yeah.
I think I got nothing wrong with Supernatural. That's like one of those guilty pleasure shows that like I like the fact that like the CW, even though they don't really have the money, they swing for the fences.
Yeah.
Like Superman's flying around, the guys are flying around. I'm like, fucking A, like go crazy with it. Like I'm like right on CW. Like
I saw somebody make it, and they worked hard to make this too. Like there was a lot of work going into post for this. It was the Justice League movie we wanted, and it was Henry Cavill as Superman, the kid from the CW Flash movie as the Flash.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Christian Bale as Batman, and what was the other one? But it was all them. But they like brought all these people in, and then they had all their bad guys. And so the big thing was that Reverse Flash came.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, so that he came to like Gotham, and then that whole thing kind of got started, and I was like, and it was really funny, and like they got like little moments from all the things too, so like to make it like make sense. So they had Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, and they're all standing there, and it just goes to a close up of him, and he's like, "I'm surprised I got the invite," and I was like, "That's the perfect line for him."
Christian
to
Bale
say.
was a shit Batman. That's serviceable at best. Like, I mean, come on.
Well, to me, like it was the Batman voice was the only thing I had a problem with, because once you're in the suit, it's just fight scenes, and it's just a stuntman anyway.
Whatever,
so he's not even.
exactly.
So
Like,
he's not even Batman. It doesn't
you're
matter.
just Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. So you're just Bruce Wayne, and I thought he was a fine like Bruce Wayne. Like there was no problem with him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any issue with him. Interesting that, just speaking of Nolan, he was doing an interview with Colbert, and he was like, "Yeah, you have a lot of guilty pleasures. One of your guilty pleasures is the Fast and Furious movies." And Christopher Nolan's like, "There's no guilt. I love the Fast and Furious movies." He's like, it's a great action franchise. And he's like, he's like, "I've never seen any of them." He's like, "Will you watch all of them with me?" He's like, "You don't need to watch all of them in one sitting. It's not that kind of thing." He's like, "You can just watch Tokyo Drift and then go back and watch
one and then go watch." I love that he just loves the Fast and the Furious.
He's just really into Fast and the Furious. It's funny. I've been learning a lot about him lately, because like a lot of the interviews and stuff have been like showing up on social media.
Right.
And he's like a real hard ass about like phones on set, bathroom breaks, and like all this stuff. And then like he said something about like people not taking off to use the washroom when they're shooting a scene, because like people have time, the actors at least have time in like between when they go back to their trailer and do whatever. So he's like, "Nobody's fucking leaving while we're here." And then he says to him, he's like, when do you go? And Christopher Nolan was like, "Before I leave." He's like, I go to the bathroom before I like a grown up. I go to the bathroom before I come to work. Yeah. And then I go to the bathroom when I go home.
Yeah.
And just like, but they were like, that's what they respected of him. They like, he's very demanding. He's like, but there's nothing that he will ask you to do that he's not going to do himself.
Yeah.
So it would be the only thing. I kind of want it to be the other way.
I want to take a piss though. I want to take a piss. Like,
yeah, but well, there's lunch breaks and stuff, right? You got time to do that.
Well, like at your job, like a regular job.
Yeah, but he's just like but he's just like, nobody's leaving the set. Like my regular job, I'm sitting at my desk and I could like have a meeting and I'm like writing some stuff. It's like, I'm just gonna go take a piss. Like, I'm not waiting for my lunch break. To do that. His is, you're on the fucking set.
You're on the thing. Yeah.
But I would like it much.
You really had to pee all of a sudden. Like, you really just suddenly have the shits one.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't deny you, but he's probably like, he'll be the guy who's like, "Fuck, come on, you're wasting our money."
On the doorway, they're trying to take a dump, and get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like, wasting money. That's all this industry is wasting money.
He's like, no, he gets a grip to go get a bucket to put underneath him, and is like, "I'm going to shoot you from the waist up. You just go."
Oh my God, that's Marlon Brando style.
Yeah.
It's like, Marlon Brando's literally taking a dump right now. Just film him from belly button up.
Yeah.
We'll take out any splashback and post.
Yeah. But if you want to see Christopher Nolan taking a dump, go watch Following. Oh, that's a hit.
Does he?
Yeah. No, it's a garbage movie.
Oh, like Tenet.
Yeah.
It's like Tenet is like watching Christopher Nolan take a shit in backwards. Yeah. Like in Rewind.
It's going back in. Oh, he got his shit pushed in.
I love
full circle.
Oh, fuck.
Circle.
That's it. End it. Yes. End it right now.
All right. No, did you have something to say before I end?
Nope.
Okay, everybody. That is it apparently for this episode, but probably deservedly so.
That is the best fucking come around, man.
All right. If you are watching us on the YouTubes, make sure you hit like and subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we have new episodes coming out. If you are listening to us, wherever you listen to us, rate us, review us. I guess the best place to do that, still Apple Podcasts. Google Podcasts, though, does it. Just go do somewhere. If you really like us, go to multiple places and do it. It helps
Tell us how much you hate us at multiple places.
We've talked about algorithms in a different format today, right. But you can help the algorithm become all us. So
have one picture in your Instagram of us. When you go to that thing, just one, all pizza and then us.
All pizza and then us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We will catch you next week with a movie of some kind that we just stopped talking about what movie it is because it's just easier for us because I don't always know. So sometimes it's well, because we end up getting a delay or something like that, and it's like, shit happens. So next week, movie. It's gonna be great. Maybe I'll put it on social media. Oh, that's probably what I'll do. I'll post. Follow us on.
That's probably what I'll do.
Follow us on on Twitter at Miscast Podcast, on Instagram or TikTok at Miscast Commentary, and we'll put the announcement there, and you can check it out. Until next time, dear snowflakes.
I should have liked a Pizza the Hut. He probably would have put me over the fucking top.
Bye.